welcome back. TV show in space. How is everybody?
Oh, good.
That was Mario music you were doing right there. I heard
Yeah.
Switch 2
happy
week.
happy Switch 2 week, everybody.
That's
it.
right.
He's got it.
Did you guys get the Switch 2?
I haven't showed up yet. Freaking shipping slow as crap.
Oh, you ordered one. Okay.
Yeah, I ordered 3.
Girl, the tariffs. You ordered 3?
I was afraid they would get canceled because the ordering system sucks so bad with stores these days. So
What are you going to do with the other 2?
Oh, I'll find 2 friends that can get them and give them
yeah.
to them at cost. So
Oh, that's nice of you.
yeah, I'm not gonna try to make a buck on that or anything.
I had a buddy who had the same fear, only he had ordered one and then he stayed up in the line at Best Buy until for the midnight.
I also had a friend who did that.
Apparently had a lot of consoles available nationwide.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a surprise to me. I thought that I thought it would have just been gone.
Oh, one of my friends was at a Best Buy midnight. 90 consoles available at one Best Buy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's
Good job,
good.
Nintendo. It's about time.
It would be so nice to know what's going to happen in regards to things.
We used to know. Yeah.
We used to know. The internet used to be fun, and we used to know how things were going to go.
Yep.
But, welcome to TV show in space where there's consistency, kind of. And mostly. We are almost there, you guys. We're talking about the 3 episodes before the finale. The finale is going to be its own very special episode, and I'm going to say it up front, it's going to be delayed because Carrie's going out of town, and I want to wait till Carrie's back.
It's like I said, you guys, you don't have to wait for me.
No,
I am going to.
Well,
this is my
okay.
ship.
Oh,
Remember,
yes, that's right.
every time someone leaves the Enterprise and they're like, go on without me, and whoever's captaining the Enterprise is like, I'm not going to do that.
Never leave a man behind.
Okay. All right.
Never leave. Carrie, you've not missed a single episode of this show, so why stop now?
Okay. All right.
At one of the best of all 900 episodes.
Literally one of the best finales.
It was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves now.
Yeah, we're not getting ahead of ourselves. Today, we're talking about Bloodlines, Emergence, and Preemptive Strike. Honestly, episodes I don't really care about, but we have to eat our vegetables.
I liked one of these episodes.
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
tell you which one when we get there. When we get there, I'll tell you.
If it's Emergence, I'm going to be so pissed off. But let's talk about Bloodlines, where Picard races the Ferengi in an effort to track down the son he never knew he had. There's one thing about men of the Enterprise. They love finding out their fathers way too late.
Mm-hmm.
How many times has this happened before?
Okay, so we've got Kirk. We've got that one time with Riker. We've got Worf. We've got who else? Anybody?
Picard.
Picard, yeah.
The USS Jerry Springer is a ship in the fleet, isn't it? It's
that should be where all the
these officers.
The Maury Povich. We also it's not canon because the line was cut, but in Star Trek 4, as Saavik is departing, Kirk had 4 words. Does he know?
Right.
That's right. Yeah, because
Spock.
because they were
Come on.
several times.
They touched fingertips. That's
they touched tips.
And it had to have been several times because Ponfar every 7 years, but he was aging rapidly.
He was puberty.
So we're looking at in a day.
Dios
If Strange New Worlds has taught us nothing, it's that Spock has an insatiable appetite, even off season.
I hate that so much. Maybe I'm a prude when it comes to Star Trek.
Is that your problem with J.J. Abrams Spock? Is that your problem with him?
Because he's too horny?
Because he gets it on? Yeah.
Words I never thought I'd hear Rebecca say. Maybe I'm a prude. Now, if you'll excuse me, she adds, I'm going to go find all the porn parodies for Star Trek.
By the way, I did go find that other porn parody that was recommended to me. Horrific.
Not good.
I couldn't even be bothered to give it a proper attempt.
Well,
Because I think it's because it's from the early '90s, and
it's nice to know you have a discerning palate.
Everything from the early '90s is questionable. When were you born?
'89.
Oh, okay.
Some
Dang
of the
it, my
music
joke
was
missed.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see what you were doing. Okay.
Well,
didn't work out.
Starfleet officers running around the universe raw dogging it apparently. So the Enterprise gets a surprise message and visits by stunningly crafty means for the rogue Ferengi Daimon Bok, who announces what am I reading? Who announces he'll extract retribution of Picard after 15 years for killing his son in a legitimate space battle. If you recall, this is a callback to an episode called The Battle from 1987. Can you believe it? Season 1, where Bok's son is killed.
I'd forgotten about this, I'll be honest.
Real talk, me too. Because if it has to do with the Ferengi, who could care?
They were so extra weird in the first season of Next Gen as well.
You're about 10 hours away from caring, Rebecca.
I'm sure.
It's true.
What if I get into Deep Space Nine and I'm like, actually, I still hate these guys?
You won't. Well, you might.
Well,
you might like a few of them.
They do some pretty awful things on Deep Space Nine. So but there aren't as many Romulans, so you'll be happy. I know you don't care for the Romulans. So.
I do not care for the Romulans.
I mean, there are a few, but not as many as Ferengi.
Including like the most important, best episode of Deep Space Nine. Correct, Carrie. Thank you.
So at first, Bok sends a holographic threat message via a probe shuttle, and then Picard seems to see Bok in his nightmares. The Enterprise captures the probe shuttle for further analysis. The object of vengeance is Jason Vigo, a 23-year-old dashing climbing athlete and adventurer whom Bok claims is Picard's son by the late Miranda Vigo. Picard admits to Riker that he met Miranda on Earth 24 years ago and had an intense affair with her. He left her after 2 weeks and never heard from Miranda again. Data finds that they are both settled on K-Mor 5. Jason is picked up by the Enterprise for protection and found genetically compatible with both Picard and Miranda. Bok threatens Picard that he will complete his vengeance by killing Jason. Picard asks Riker to contact the Ferengi government to figure out how Bok regained his rank in the Ferengi system. So, Jason, rock climber, immediately dislike him.
Me too. Straight away.
Yeah, he reeks of douche.
Yes.
Go climb a rock, as one captain once wore a t-shirt.
Yes.
Yeah, there's just something about rock climbers. I'm so sorry.
Hey, I'm always out, sporting and stuff.
Chalk. Chalk in my hands. Bouldering.
I'm going
The
to free
phrase
climb this.
spelunking.
Spelunking, yes.
Splunking? Splunking? Opposite of climbing?
You still have to do some climbing. You're just climbing down.
Yeah, but that's what Jason does too, is because
he was in the cave.
Scavenger.
He was in the cave. He was in the cave. Data finds Jason's roguish minor. What was that?
Wait a second. I just remembered the scene when he's still on the transporting pad and he's just okay, why don't you just beam me back over there? And he assumes the climbing position again, like they're gonna put him back exactly the same spot, and he remembers how his arms were and everything. What a douche.
Yeah, hated this guy immediately. Yep.
Mm-hmm. His dating profile has him with a fish.
Yep.
Yeah, he's gone. I know what you mean. Yeah.
So Data finds Jason's roguish minor criminal record, mainly trespassing in caves under the planet's surface, which is deemed illegal according to laws of the planet since the caves are seismically unstable. Jason reveals that his mother died 3 years ago, and Picard convinces Jason to stay on the Enterprise until Bok is located and handled. Ferengi Damon Berta reveals that Bok was deposed as mentally unstable 6 years ago and relieved of command. He was imprisoned for a while too, but he bought his way out 2 years ago. Hilarious, right? Currently, he is suspected to be in the Dorius cluster, and using this information and the particle deposit on the probe shuttle itself, Data tracks the probe to the Zendi Kabu system. Jason hits on Deanna, and she storms out.
Classic Jason.
Classic Jason, just like his father. And Jason has no love for Picard, and is eager to leave the Enterprise as soon as Bok is handled. Meanwhile, Picard finds Bok sitting in his chair in the ready room. Bok insists on being paid for his son's death and transports out. Geordi and Data figure out that Bok is using a subspace transporter from a nearby hidden ship and hence is not being detected by the ship's systems. Geordi says that he will be able to track Bok's ship if he uses the subspace transporter again. Picard knows that using this technology, Bok can beam Jason away from the Enterprise. So Picard learns that Jason is the carrier of a rare hereditary degenerating disease when he has a seizure in his cabin. Jason reveals that Miranda was killed by street thugs who wanted to rob her, but she wanted to fight them off and lost her life in the process. Picard, God bless him, makes an effort to connect with Jason and succeeds by accepting him for who he is. Picard, knowing your own personal past, why are you walking around with a stick up your butt regarding Jason?
You mentioned Data. Sorry, you mentioned Data.
Yeah.
He's the inverse of the son finding out. He finds out later that he has parents. Right?
Whoa.
That's right.
Bok uses a subspace wave to transport Jason off the Enterprise, and Geordi is unable to prevent it. Data uses the wave to track the location of the ship. Bok sends another message to Picard indicating that he is about to kill Jason, and Picard uses his own transporter to get onto the ship. He gets his ultimate confrontation with Bok, and the whole truth proves crucial. Picard tells Bok that he knows Bok engineered Jason's DNA to match Picard's, but the technique was flawed and was detected by Beverly using a cellular scan. Jason is not the son. You are not the father.
Phew. Thanks, Mari.
Bok has no choice but to let them both go as the Enterprise is closing in on their position. Bok had lied to his crew about being a commander and is taken into custody when Picard reveals that Bok has no official capacity or rank within the Ferengi and only wanted revenge. Another instance of me being real pissed off at Star Trek The Next Generation for not committing to anything.
But I love when Picard calls him out on it, and the two other Ferengis on the bridge of that ship are just like, wait a minute, we're not getting paid?
We aren't getting paid for this?
It. We're done. Pack it up. We're out of here.
We've said many times, don't do a revenge. And especially, don't do a revenge if there's no profit.
That's right.
That's probably the 143rd rule of acquisition, I would guess.
Yeah. I want it on a t-shirt. Don't do a revenge unless there's profit.
That's why it fails so poorly in The Last of Us. So this episode, sequel to The Battle from 1987, we do not care.
No.
Patrick Stewart suggested Scott Weinger, best known for the title character voice of Aladdin, as Jason Vigo. So
what? That's not what he's best known for. He's best known for being boyfriend Steve on Full House.
I'm sure not Aladdin. Are you kidding me, Tony? How many direct to VHS sequels? How many direct to VHS sequels has the boyfriend from Full House been on?
No, that's the same guy. That's what I'm saying. It's the same person.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying his most known role.
Yeah,
is not the boyfriend.
Boyfriend from Full House.
Aren't you boyfriend from Full House?
Look,
right this way, sir.
Get this, you guys. I looked him up, and he's more than just Aladdin and the boyfriend from Steve House. Okay, or from Full House.
Boyfriend Steve House. What a good
boyfriend
show.
Steve. His name is Scott. He while he has many acting credits. He's on Fuller House too. 53 episodes of Fuller House.
Thank you. Most known for boyfriend Steve.
How many VHS sequels to Aladdin did he do?
Well, he's done all the Kingdom Hearts.
Did he do was he the voice of Aladdin on the cartoon series? Because there was a lot of episodes of that.
He's Aladdin a lot.
I think your point is that he's worked a lot more than the guy who played Jason Vigo here.
Yeah, I think that's the truth.
But he's also a producer and a writer for the TV show Paradise, Tony.
What?
Yeah.
I automatically like this guy even more, knowing that he's also the boyfriend, Steve, from Full House. And he worked on Paradise.
And this one's for me and Jake, Gallivant.
Oh, I loved Gallivant. That was also a good show. Yeah.
Right?
Even though it had singing.
Tony. Anyway, isn't that crazy? And then also...
Did they say why he didn't do it?
Why he didn't do...
Why he didn't get the part as Vigo.
Yeah.
Picard's
No,
son.
he... Oh, I don't know.
Also, why... I wonder why Patrick Stewart like specifically looked at him and said, "I want that guy." Like
he was a big fan of Full House.
It must have been.
He's a big Aladdin fan.
Yeah. Makes sense. That makes sense.
Whole new world. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. But also, this is IMDb trivia. Who knows how true it is?
Yeah, it's written by pedestrians. So.
Maybe I just made this up. And this is the third consecutive episode dealing with a main character's disagreement with a son.
Third consecutive?
Third consecutive.
Oh.
Firstborn, or Journey's End, Firstborn, and now Bloodlines.
Wow.
Sons. Parents just don't understand, you guys. And the last piece of information that I think is so fascinating and does make me question the integrity of IMDb trivia, Forrester-Trent syndrome was named after the battle writer Larry Forrester and Trent Reznor from the rock band 9 Inch Nails.
Fans?
I read that elsewhere, actually.
Okay, so it's confirmed.
Okay. Yeah. And another thing that I had read in prep for this episode was that that Jason was originally going to be named Daniel. But that's Patrick Stewart's real son's name, with whom he was a little bit estranged.
Oh, yeah.
And so he asked that they change that name.
We'll give him another average name, shall we? Something non-memorable.
Jonathan.
John.
Yeah, so...
did anybody care about this episode?
Meh.
Well, like I said, once again, pissed off at Star Trek: The Next Generation for not committing to a single thing.
No, I'll be honest. I find the Ferengi enjoyable, so I like that aspect of it.
And I will say that as a final season episode, throwing back to the first season, tying up sort of a loose end because Bob was like, "I will get you, Picard."
Kind of cool.
That we'll there is some value there. Sure. A different actor playing Bach, but
it does tie in also to whatever's happening on Deep Space Nine. Wait, right? Like, so assuming
they specifically mentioned Deep Space Nine in the episode, or is it the next episode they mentioned Deep Space Nine? I can't
or the third one.
The previous
third
one. It was Firstborn that they did.
But but either way, assuming you're a good Star Trek fan and watching both of these shows concurrently in 1994, but let's talk about Emergence. Oh God. Strange images begin appearing throughout the ship's decks and holodecks. Data and the rest of the crew begin to investigate, only to discover that the ship's computer itself is exhibiting strange behavior as it begins to become self-aware. We got trouble on the holodeck, ladies and gentlemen.
It'd been a minute since we had a holodeck episode.
Strange symbols appearing on the computers.
Strange images.
Pretty soon there's going to be masks showing up, and Data's going to be like 17 characters. It's going to be...
don't remind me.
Don't tease me with a good time.
No, that was a terrible episode.
Which one?
Masks.
The one when masks. The one when Data plays 19 different gods.
But what about Fistful of Datas, where he plays a bajillion other characters?
That one was good.
Yeah.
You're talking about the Western one, right?
Yeah.
That was enjoyable. I like that one. Strange
images begin appearing throughout the ship's decks and holodecks, and Picard and Data are almost hit by a steam locomotive. They're where's Beverly during this? She should be here for this. But Data is rehearsing a performance, and Picard is there to give notes. And I'm like, of all the people, you do not want Picard giving you notes, because we all know Picard doesn't really care for acting. It's Beverly. Anyway.
But does Beverly in her office have a 500-year-old copy of the complete works of William Shakespeare?
Also.
No, because she's not pretentious like that. So suddenly the ship moves into warp and then suddenly drops out when Picard orders an emergency warp core shutdown. Geordi figures they were lucky to have jumped to warp, as there was a data flux vortex building around the ship's position. In 1.7 seconds, it would have ruptured the warp core of the Enterprise. Once again, a lot. It seems pretty dangerous to have a warp core.
I mean, safety not guaranteed. What can I say?
It's what you sign up for. Data and Geordi.
It is very zen, though. You discovered it. You discovered the zen of the warp core.
It either will work or it won't. Data and Geordi find new connections in the junction boxes that connect sensors to ship's other systems. These connections cannot be severed as they are protected by force fields. Force fields? All the nodal connections converge on Holodeck 3. Data, Worf, and Riker enter Holodeck 3 and find 7 different programs running simultaneously. They are on the Orient Express. The driver comes running and says everyone is trying to take control of the train. The hitman kills the driver, and the conductor orders the train speed to be increased. The hitman takes a brick from the driver, and then the conductor calls it crucial. In the real world, the navigation circuits burn out and the ship goes into warp again. The nodes now cover almost the entire ship and are starting to look like a positronic neural net. The Enterprise is beginning to become self-aware. Oh no. The nodes...
I actually kind of liked this episode. I'm not going to lie.
Tony!
I know.
I do. This episode does have escape room vibes. And you know how I feel about escape rooms.
A little bit, yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The nodes are its emergent functions and are more than a mere sum of its parts. The clues lie in the holodeck. So Deanna, also a fan of escape rooms, enters the holodeck where a hitman informs her that the train is headed to Keystone City. A couple is building a puzzle. The hitman gets off at Keystone City with the brick and Deanna follows him.
Where he was welcomed by Jay Garrett and Barry Allen.
I was going to say, yeah, somewhat flash. There we go. Yeah, Jake got it.
Data tries to depolarize the power grid. The hitman simply uses the brick to complete a wall. In the real world, the Cargo Bay 5 depressurizes and all sorts of transporter activity begins. In Cargo Bay 5, Geordi finds one of the nodes, which resembles the picture on the puzzle the couple was trying to complete, materialized on the ground. As Data starts to depolarize the power grid, there are massive energy fluctuations, and the ship is about to lose structural integrity. Geordi asks Data to stop. Picard suggests that everything they have tried to interfere with the ship has run into jeopardy. So he suggests that they try to cooperate with the ship instead. On the holodeck, maybe if we just don't piss it off.
Let's try talking to it.
Can't beat them. Join them.
Yeah. On the holodeck, the conductor informs them that they are running out of steam. In real life, warp power is down 47% after creating just a single nodal cell in Cargo Bay 5. Worf helps to shovel coal into the engine, and in real life, warp is back to normal.
Which makes no sense.
I just want to point out how far down was that warp percentage?
47%.
There you go.
Whoa.
Wait, what am I missing? What's 47?
Only real Star Trek fans know, Tony.
It's a running joke through all of the series. You'll find the number 47 for whatever reason.
Kind of like 52 in the DC comics stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The ship is headed to Tambor Beta 6, a white dwarf star. The ship collects Veriton particles from the star. The beam is transferred to the cargo bay via the transporters, and it's absorbed by the nodal cell. The star runs out of Veriton particles, and the nodal cell starts diminishing. Geordi tells Picard that using Veriton particles.
Vertion, I think.
Reading is hard. I'm struggling with reading today. The ship was trying to create a life form, but to revive it, they need the particles, and soon. The ship automatically heads to the nearest white dwarf star. The ship will take 12 hours to get there, but all power is routed to the engines, and life support will only sustain for 2 hours. Deanna convinces the conductor to let them handle the train to get to the new Vetriform city faster, and the conductor agrees. Data has navigational control of the ship. They take the ship to a nebula and decide to detonate a photon torpedo that will generate Veriton particles in enough quantity. The plan works and the nodal cell gets enough particles to come to life. It lifts and escapes the ship, and everyone goes back to normal.
That's it.
And that's it.
Hey, a new form of life. See ya.
Bye. Goodbye.
Immediately after watching this episode, I turned on the Story Train episode of Rick and Morty because I think they did it better.
The Story Train episode is fantastic.
That is a great episode.
So, what's the point here?
Yeah.
Well, I just enjoyed that I got to see Pappy O'Daniel, the actor that plays Pappy O'Daniel from Oh Brother Where Art Thou, in a different role. He was the conductor. And I kept expecting him to take his hat off and slap someone and say, "You saw fit, son bitch." Good thing your mama died giving birth to you, otherwise she'd have died of shame. She can see you right now.
No, we all know that David Huddleston is the Big Lebowski.
Oh, that's right. That's his other awesome, another Coen's Brothers movie. But yeah.
Are you employed, sir?
This is the 25th Next Gen episode directed by Cliff Bole, making him the show's most prolific director.
He had an entire race named after him.
Which one?
The Bolians.
Bolians.
Yep.
They're the blue people with the thing down the middle of their face.
Oh.
Picard's barber. Yeah.
Oh, the gossipy one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Miss. There were no new sets needed for this episode. The train set was a reuse from Dracula by Francis Ford Coppola.
And
and Paramount's standing New York City street set was used for Keystone City. The staircase the crew walk up belonged to New York City Subway's 42nd Street Times Square station, according to the sign.
Honestly, the city backlot, I kept expecting Kirk and Spock from the original series to show up looking for
jump through
Edith Keeler at any moment,
and cooked up McCoy running through the town.
Assassins! Are you employed, sir?
I think this is the third week in a row where we've referenced City on Edge Forever. So we got to work that in now moving forward.
Okay, previous episode and this episode. Jake, how does Journey's End relate to these two episodes?
These two episodes, it doesn't.
You said.
I said it as an umbrella term. But coming up next, Commander.
At the beginning of this episode, Data is playing the role of Prospero and being coached by Picard. The following year, in 1995, Patrick Stewart played the role of Prospero on Broadway.
Meanwhile, not across town, just probably 2 doors down, Brent Spiner was playing John Adams in 1776.
What? Oh, he'd be a great John Adams. And this is the last proper holodeck story in the series. Everyone say goodbye, holodeck. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, holodeck.
Were you a good holodeck?
No.
You were the best holodeck.
You were not a very good holodeck.
You were a terrible holodeck. Oh, God, you were awful.
I blame Barclay.
I was going to say it's Barclay's fault. He's always messing things up.
There's still hair in there. It's just awful.
Spiders. Let's talk about the penultimate episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, Preemptive Strike. Following her return from advanced tactical training, Bajoran Ro Laren is sent to infiltrate the Maquis and finds herself torn between her loyalty to Picard and Starfleet and her sympathy with the Maquis fighting the good fight. The return of our friend, Ro Laren. Isn't that fun?
Ro Laren.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Ro Laren.
She's Lieutenant.
And she's welcomed back with a party.
That she promptly leaves.
I don't blame you.
The Enterprise, meanwhile, saves a Cardassian ship captained by Gully Vec. You remember?
Yeah, he keeps popping up.
Which is under attack from the Maquis, who are civilians but Federation citizens. Gully Vec thanks Picard, but says that Starfleet looks the other way when Maquis attack, since many Maquis are Starfleet officers. The Maquis attacked Cardassians with photon torpedoes and Type 8 phasers, which indicates that Starfleet might be arming them. Oh, where does this sound familiar?
Yeah.
Well, I love that Picard says, well, I'm sure they didn't get those, and you think he's going to say from us, through legitimate channels. That's what he says. It's like, way to hedge your bets right there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because it's not Quark on DS9. Nope.
No.
Is it Quark on DS9?
Possibly.
Yeah, he denies it.
Depends on who you ask.
Picard says that the Cardassians are also arming their civilians on the border, and Federation ships are similarly under attack. Under the recently signed peace treaty, the Federation and the Enterprise have established a demilitarized zone along their borders, you might recall. Mm-hmm. And Journey's End, I see. Most skirmishes between Cardassians and the Maquis are in the demilitarized zone. So Picard discussed with Admiral Nechayev who says in the recent weeks the Maquis have acquired more weapons and are prepping for a larger attack against the Cardassians, and they need to be stopped.
I love Nechayev in this one because she's just like, I'm so tired.
I sure hope she did retire after this one.
Yeah. She's had enough. There is no intelligence on them, and the Maquis are scattered all over the demilitarized zone. Ro is picked as the best suited for an undercover mission in the demilitarized zone to prevent the peace treaty with the Cardassians being undermined by illegally attacking Federation Maquis ships. So, Ro gets into a tavern where Data and Worf establish her as a Bajoran who has killed the Cardassian soldiers. She is picked up by the Maquis when they leave. Their leader is Macias. Am I saying this right? Macias?
Macias?
I don't
remember.
Macias? I don't remember.
Gracias.
And his deputies, Kalita and Santos. Macias is old and nice. He talks about how Cardassians plan to make life difficult for Federation citizens in the DMZ, so they leave voluntarily. And yet, Starfleet does nothing. Macias himself was given a beating by the Cardassians and carries some scars on his face. Macias is worried that the Cardassians are supplying their citizens in the DMZ with biogenic weapons. The Maquis want to launch a preemptive strike, but need medical supplies. Ro offers to lead a raid on the Enterprise and beam off medical supplies due to her serving period on the ship. Kalita goes with her. Ro sends a secret message to the Enterprise, disguising it under a distress signal from a Federation science ship, letting them know of her plan. Picard allows her to succeed, steal the supplies from the Enterprise, and returns to the Maquis. Macias gives her a ship, and she is free to go anywhere, and Ro visits Picard and briefs him on the developing situation. Picard wants Ro to lead them into a trap. Picard will stage an envoy of ships that look like transporting biogenic weapons. The Maquis will attack, and Starfleet will be waiting for them in a nearby nebula. Ro convinces Macias and his team that the Cardassians are assembling the supplies for a biogenic weapon in the DMZ. She also says that an Iridian freighter has left Deep Space Nine.
That's the reference I was thinking of, yeah.
With more such supplies. Macias buys the story and prepares an attack. Ro looks at Macias almost like her dead father. Macias is killed in a raid on the Maquis cell by the Cardassians, and Ro is upset about it.
He had a good run.
He had a good run.
He's pretty old.
Yeah. Longevity is not a gift in the rebellion.
No.
Macias assigns Ro as the leader of his cell before dying. Mind you, he's known this one for like 2 days.
I trust you completely. Oh, that's why I'm a bad leader. Oh.
It's kind of like
make me stinky burritos.
I saw.
Yes. She can really make a burrito.
Stinky burrito, real stanky.
Perfect.
So Ro meets with Picard, and I love this meeting between them in like the pub or whatever, where they're like, "Make it look sexy."
Yeah.
Ro meets Picard and tells him that she can't betray the Maquis, but Picard warns her that she would be throwing away everything that she has worked for, and Picard sends Riker with her to keep an eye on her. On the day of the raid, Ro exposes the Enterprise hiding in the nebula, stops the capture of the Maquis, and beams back to the Maquis ship and lets Riker leave for the Enterprise. She tells Riker that she belongs to the Maquis and says her goodbye to Starfleet.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye, Ro.
Very, very important that she says to Picard, she tells Riker, say to Picard, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
they talked about it a couple times in the episode. It felt like she was more bummed out about betraying Picard than her like vows to the Federation and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, she's very much like the Federation and Starfleet, take it or leave it. But Picard, huge respect. So sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I would point out two things here. That Maquis guy that was like, we're Federation citizens and they abandoned us, and so Starfleet's doing nothing. They literally told you they were going to do nothing.
Exactly.
They said you can stay if you want. We're washing our hands.
It's the same thing they told the Native American world. Like, look,
yep, because they're in the DMZ.
Choice. We can't do anything if you stay here.
And secondly,
literally is a DMZ.
Nechayev doesn't get to retire because she does pop up on DS9.
That's right, she does.
Bummer.
Still responsible for the DMZ.
Yes, that's
which
true.
is a nice piece of continuity.
Mm-hmm.
But I just love how
works.
tired she is in this episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Picard didn't even give her more sandwiches.
I liked this. Oh, and the burritos. I liked this episode because, and this is my default position, if it's a Ro Lauren episode, I'm there.
I'm kind of in on that as well.
Queen shit.
I'm actually kind of bummed that they didn't put her. I mean, I love Nanat Visitor as Kira. She's just one of my huge Star Trek crushes. Don't get me wrong, but it's from a story standpoint, that would have been really kind of cool to give Ro that position on Deep Space Nine. But
they offered it to her.
Yeah, and she turned it down.
She turned it down.
No way. She said she didn't want to be on Deep Space Nine?
Yep.
Well, I mean, they kind of wrote the part for her, didn't they? I mean, you know, and then she said no, and so then they hurried and made it into Major Kira.
Huh. Well, and according to IMDb trivia, Ro's departure to the Maquis was intended to set her up as a main character in Voyager. However, Michelle Forbes was unwilling to commit, so somebody else took her place.
Commitment problems. I see.
I mean, but that would have been on Voyager, though.
Yeah,
I think it would have been DS9 for sure.
Seska, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this piece of trivia says Roxanne Dawson playing B'Elanna Torres.
B'Elanna Torres.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She would have taken.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess
she's kind of written like that too. Yeah.
That's true. She kind of.
They're similar characters.
Grumpy and
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know. This episode was good, but I am sad to say goodbye to my friend Ro Laren.
For now.
Yeah, for now. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? We're so close to the end. Our next episode is the finale.
Well, none of these were as good as Genesis, but still quite good.
Oh boy. Tony, who liked Emergence, who liked all the holodeck nonsense.
I meant to say this in the Emergence discussion. Carrie, did you go? There was a Star Trek convention in, I want to say, 91 or 92 in Salt Lake with Colm Meaney as the guest. Were you there for that?
If I was, I didn't attend the Colm Meaney thing.
Okay. It was back
Were
when
you
they
there?
It may have been. There was a lot of them. Jake was there though.
Yeah, it was the second convention I ever went to, and it was back when one guest was enough.
I remember those days. Yeah.
Yeah, because they would bring in like Jimmy Doohan was your guest for the 2 days of the convention and stuff. But Colm Meaney was the guest, and he told a story. I've never forgotten the story. I don't know why it stuck with me. About how he was serving Keiko mashed potatoes in their quarters. It's still on the Enterprise. And he dropped some on the counter, and he licked his finger and licked up the mashed potatoes. He did that like over 4 or 5 takes, and they kept having to reshoot the scene because they kept telling him it's a self-cleaning ship.
Okay.
And the payoff for that, I guess, was Emergence.
All right.
It's funny. I remember those days when one or two big guests were enough.
Yeah. And it was like Janice Rand and Mark Leonard.
Usually,
yeah.
Let's put the words "big" in quotations. Big guest.
My first sci-fi con was in Provo at the Holiday Inn, and it was in the 70s sometime, and the big guest was Anne Lockhart. Who? Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was excited because I watched Battlestar Galactica, and Sheba was my crush, and so it was just like and it was funny because it was all dudes that were there, all shy, sweaty dudes, you know. And you go in
Q&A session was dead
Silent.
silent.
You go into the Q&A. There's no hosts. There's no one there to forward the questions. It's just her. No microphone because the room isn't big enough. You didn't need one.
Man.
And I remember it was just like a dozen of us sitting there. We're all like not making eye contact and all that, because she's just so pretty. And she's like, "Can we take this outside? I really need a smoke."
Can we pass outside?
And so we go out into the courtyard, and she's, "Go ahead, ask me anything. Go ahead."
I'm too scared.
And we're all like, you remember that time? It was really cool.
Like Chris Farley in his
Yeah.
interviews.
That's why I laugh at that Chris Farley character so much, because I'm like, that's every kid. You know?
Was it that Holiday Inn that was like 2 blocks south of the old X96 studio?
It was
it was
close to it. It was there on University Avenue.
Yeah. It's like, that lounge singer character that Fred Armisen plays, or he's the drummer on Saturday Night Live. That was set at that Holiday Inn.
Oh, it had to be. Yeah.
That's the vibe of that Holiday Inn. So
besides that, the other memorable thing about that Holiday Inn was their sign. It was during the summer of Jaws. It was "No sharks in our pool." That's all I remember. And I bought pyramid cards there. Knockoff pyramid cards.
And for the rest of us, what are pyramid cards?
I know what they are, but tell someone else.
Thanks, Tony. It's the Battlestar Galactica poker game.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And of course, Rebecca would know that because she's not seen either the new or old.
In the new Battlestar, did they switch to hexagons?
They were always.
Was it still a pyramid?
Yeah, I've got them right over there. I'd have to.
For some reason, hexagon cards are stuck in my head.
What was the guy that played Starbuck on the original? What was his name?
Oh shit,
Joe Buck.
No, he was on the A team. Dirk Benedict.
Oh, Dirk Benedict. That's not who I was thinking of then. I don't remember. Somebody from that show though was from like Provo, and he would attend the BYU. No. He would attend the BYU Fantasy Symposium.
Oh, really?
Every few years, yeah. The name that's coming to my head is Richard Arnold, but it is not Richard Arnold because that was Gene Roddenberry's assistant.
Provo actor, Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, he's got 2 first names. You shouldn't trust him.
Richard Hatch.
Yes, that's it.
He's not from Provo.
Richard Hatch is from Provo?
No.
He has some connection there, yeah.
Well, he must have. He's not from there. I mean, I've interviewed him.
No, he's born in Santa Monica.
Yeah, I was going to say I've interviewed him a couple of times. It's never come up.
Richard Hatch.
He's dead now.
Utah? Question mark.
I remember.
I don't know.
When
that was the original Apollo.
When the original when the remake came out, I remember looking at the cast of the old one and seeing some screenshots of Jane Seymour from that show, and looking at it going,
Hottie.
"Whoa, she was gorgeous! Holy moly!"
Yeah. Well, go back and watch that James Bond movie that she was in.
She was in a James Bond movie?
Oh, she was in one of the better James Bond movies.
Was she a hottie in the 70s?
She was. Yeah. She worked for actor from Alien.
Gotta stop making me look up stuff.
One of the engineers,
I got
Yaphet
it
Kotto.
right here. Live and Let Die.
Yeah, she was in Live and Let Die, and she worked for Yaphet Kotto, who was the criminal mastermind of that one, who had 3 nipples.
3? Only
the character,
3?
not Yaphet Kotto.
Oh.
But
God.
she was like a mystic, and she would throw down these tarot cards to let Yaphet Kotto know what was going to happen.
She's pretty great in Somewhere in Time too.
Oh, I like that one too. Yeah, she was really good.
I knew her first from Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman. My mom watched that show religiously.
Tony, come on.
And I was like, I don't know, 8, 7, 8, 9 at the time, and I just didn't care. Like, I was like, whatever. This is a Western show. Who cares?
And all I can say, Rebecca, is I hope we continue doing TV show in space long enough. Although at the rate that they're producing Star Trek, we're going to be stuck here.
We're going to be doing Star Trek for the rest of our lives.
I want to do Battlestar Galactica someday.
Battlestar, come on.
I think
Tony,
you would
if you want to run a branch of TV show in space,
I already do 3 other podcasts.
He does.
Yeah, I don't have time. I know.
This is what I love so much about this one is I don't have to do any work.
Yeah, I know. I can barely do this one.
Do I have to run it? Good.
Hey, man.
I'll show you how to edit and everything. You can run it.
I love so much how this conversation has gone so far off the rails that it's Emergence.
I know.
Listen, you guys, I just like talking to my friends.
Yeah. So I do love Preemptive Strike as well. I
Yeah.
Way to
It's a
bring
good
it back.
episode.
Way to bring it
It's a
back.
good
Yeah,
episode.
yeah.
Thank you, Jeff.
yeah, it took me that long to remember what the episode was called. So
What were we talking about? I don't know. Nintendo Switch 2, I guess.
I did want to bring up Billie Piper is going to be at FanX, and I think we can ask her some questions.
Listen,
About Star Trek?
I hope she's a little more focused than when she was. Well, I mean, she's been here a couple of times, but I monitored one of her panels, and she was just.
Well, Tony, I don't know if you follow Doctor Who news.
Yeah, she's the new Doctor, but probably not.
Probably not.
Gimmicks. Disney is just full of gimmicks, and I'm tired of
It's not
it.
Disney. It's not Disney. This
Are
is
you
still
sure?
BBC.
About-
No,
Disney
they did this before.
I think Disney just broadcast it on their streaming platform.
Well, yeah,
it's
but
still
before,
BBC, I think.
when Jodie Whittaker regenerated into Nishutigawa, first it was David Tennant, and this
Yes.
is all happening under the Disney umbrella.
Does Doctor Who
that's
Doctor
right,
Who
it was.
owned by Disney now?
Not owned, but like put out by Disney now.
They're co-producing
Yeah.
with
I
the
didn't know that.
BBC.
That's
yeah.
why
Oh, that
all these
was
new
under
episodes
Disney.
have
Okay.
so much. Like the episodes look like they have so much money, and that's why the show's not very good anymore. Because
You want to go back to
I
overturned
want to go back
trash
to
cans with
plungers. I want
plungers?
to go to trash cans and aluminum foil and
Exterminate.
scrappiness.
Exterminate.
And I want the shows not to be filmed on the volume.
So there it is. He's got it.
There it is. There it
so
is.
Rebecca,
Yeah.
since we're not going to have time to do this on the next program, because I guarantee all we're going to be talking about is all good things.
Yes.
What are your favorite episodes of Next Generation?
Oh God.
Genesis.
Just a few. Just that when you're asked that question, the first like 3 or 4 that popped into your head.
Lower Decks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Fistful of Datas.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're alone.
What do you
Oh,
mean?
I liked Fistful of Datas. I'm with you on that one. I liked it.
That got multiple figures, that episode.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm looking up some
one-
episodes.
What about the one when Jean-Luc learns how to play the flute?
That's a good one. I wouldn't call it. Oh, any Q episode.
Yeah. Q's always interesting.
Tapestry, which is my
sure.
favorite.
The first Q episode. Ugh. I don't know that I.
You mean
Like-
But when he
premiere?
Like the pilot?
the pilot, yeah. Like.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well,
I don't know.
it's a
I don't know
pilot.
about that. But when he like loses his powers and he's like excommunicated from the continuum.
That was
Yay!
a good one. That was a good
Yay!
one.
Guinan stabs him with the fork.
That's true. I like that one.
2 Rikers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
again, Deanna should have taken advantage, but
Maybe she did.
You never know.
The Royale. I did like that.
you liked the
that's-
Royale.
Is that the
Oh.
one that's in the casino?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
they
I did. I thought that was.
It's every casino you've ever been to. There's no clocks and you can't find a door.
I know, Carrie. Remember,
Yeah.
I want to be retired in Mesquite like right now. So
I
like,
know. Yes. I'd rather you go to Palm Springs, but if you're going to Mesquite, okay, fine.
Usually
Yeah, well,
people say you have an old soul. They're complimenting you. Not right now, Rebecca. You have an old soul.
Oh no!
shut up.
Look at him. Oh.
Let's see.
First you put her on blast for being born in the early 90s. Now she's an old soul.
That's right.
Yeah, Tony, make up your mind.
You know, it doesn't matter. Every end of the spectrum. I don't care.
Oh, Parallels.
Parallels is a great episode.
Parallels.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
I have to say, when I asked the question, Parallels did not pop into my head.
Jake,
So-
you said that one was your favorite.
Right?
Jeez, Louise.
Don't
yeah,
forget about
Just a quick like glancing over like some top episodes, and yeah.
don't forget about Sexy Ghost Doctor episode.
Tony, why are you like this?
You know,
I don't know.
didn't- you know, it's funny. I never paid attention before, but I didn't realize how many memes there are about that episode. I mean, it's got to be one of the more memed Star Trek episodes.
It's memeable. That's for
the
sure.
ghosts.
My favorite aspect, or meme, not really a meme, but spin out of whatever of that episode is, you know, the old Galoob figure packaging, Carrie, like the blue background and that.
Yes.
Somebody made a candle and put it on that packaging and gave it to Gace McFadden.
Christ.
No.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow.
I really liked the episode when Data made his daughter.
I was actually just thinking about that too.
That is a good one.
That's a good one.
Offspring.
Offspring.
And the one where Data's put on trial. Is he
Measure of a Man.
Yeah,
Measure of
that's
a
a
Man.
good one.
That's a really good
love
one,
a courtroom episode. Oh, the one after the at Starfleet with the incident with Wesley and the
First Duty. Mm-hmm.
First Duty. That one was great.
Yes.
That one was really good.
Cause and Effect, the time loop
Yep.
With Kelsey Grammer.
with Kelsey Grammer. Yeah.
Kelsey Grammer. Neutral Zone really got me because I hadn't watched it until I watched it for the show, trying to catch up. But when they explode that guy's head at the end, like
that's conspiracy.
Tony in our group chat.
Conspiracy.
Yeah.
Sorry, conspiracy.
Tony in our group chat shared that yesterday,
It's
and
just
I was
'cause
like, "What? Jump scare!"
I was just not expecting it. I'm watching the show like, okay, what are they going to do with this guy? Like, take him in, or maybe the phaser sometimes just disintegrates the whole body. No. They went full trauma and blew his head up. Whoa.
And then the puppet thing comes out of his chest.
Yes.
That's
So
a
that
good
will
one.
always stay with
What
me.
I love about that is they fully intended to commit to those little parasites, and then it went nowhere. But they were supposed to be. They were like replaced by the Borg.
Goddamn next
they
gen, not
They
committing
were
from the beginning.
supposed to be like
Because
the thing.
That's
Yeah.
what it felt like. Like they were building up to something that's
Yeah.
going to be a long form story, and then just nothing.
Relics when Scotty shows up.
Oh,
I
that's a
loved
good
Relics.
episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was. I especially all the callbacks in that were just. I know it's fan service, but I fucking loved it. It was.
Hey, a big TOS fan over here.
You know,
I'll take
Data-
any TOS fan service.
Data with the original bottle or green bottle, pouring it for Scotty, saying it is green.
It is green.
Just
Elementary Dear
you don't
Data.
get that, Tony.
Elementary Dear Data was a good one. Yeah.
It's a good one. It's a good one. It's a good one.
the first time the ship got sentience.
Yeah. Right.
That's right.
Q. Oh, God, yeah, I love a Q episode.
Okay, I just want to interject something really quick about
Go for
why you hate Encounter at Farpoint Q. And this is I've said this before.
This is silly.
publicly.
It's gonna be so silly, Jake. You're gonna laugh. I don't like
Okay.
his silly outfit.
You don't like
really?
the judge robe?
No, and his dark lipstick.
He
The
wa-
Kool-Aid lipstick.
I don't like
He
it.
was just sipping on some
And he's
Powerade,
not
yeah.
silly. I like it when Q is silly.
Here's why.
Yeah.
Because originally the pilot was going to be an hour / 90 minutes. Dorothy Fontana was writing it. She was writing the space squids and all of the Farpoint stuff.
Yeah.
Then Gene Roddenberry came in and said, "Well, they want
Take all the fun stuff out.
They want a 2-hour thing. So you keep writing your part, and I'm going to fight God because
That's right.
everything he's done in Star Trek is fight God."
Yeah.
And
my man.
that's why you hate it, is because and this is a controversial opinion. I've said it publicly many times, so they're not going to hire me back anyway.
Well, not with that attitude.
Gene Roddenberry was the worst Star Trek writer.
Yes.
And Gene Roddenberry hates your favorite Star Trek.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Gene.
No, I
is the worst thing to happen to Star Trek.
I've said this years ago. When he died, Trek got better. I mean, I hate to say it. But,
here's the thing: you can have someone who's amazing at world building
Yes.
and not be a good writer. Like in my opinion, and I might get put on blast for this, but I think J.R.R. Tolkien fits into that category. His world building is amazing. I didn't really care for his style of writing, though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it. That's how I
What?
feel about Brandon Sanderson.
I mean, I get that. I get that. His style
Well-
isn't for everybody, but his world creation is pretty top
And-
notch.
And when George walks away from Star Wars, it's good.
Yeah, world creation. Not good at writing it.
Yeah.
Did you mention the best of both worlds yet?
No, I did not.
Oh, those
Best
were
of Both Worlds is good.
good.
Is
Part
that the
one and part
Enterprise C one?
No, that's the
that's
Borg.
The Borg
Locutus.
one.
Oh, the Enterprise C one
Locutus.
though.
Oh.
Which one is the one with the Enterprise C?
Yesterday's
liked-
Enterprise.
Yesterday's
Yesterday's
Enterprise.
Yeah, because I liked Best of Both Worlds and Yesterday's Enterprise.
Also,
You and I, Carrie, like 12 years ago, had a conversation. I was on Geekshow, and it was at Volts, like in the back room at Volts.
Oh yeah, you're crammed back there.
Yeah.
now it's a
And-
dog wash.
It is.
And we were talking about like the top 10 fan voted favorite Next Generation episodes, I think. And you got to number 1 and you went around the table and everyone was guessing what it was. And I said, it's going to be Yesterday's Enterprise. And I made some kind of comment that was, Yesterday's Enterprise is remembered better than it is. There's I'm not saying it's a terrible episode. But at that time, Carrie, you agreed. And so I'm just
Did
saying
I agree?
You did, yeah.
I mean, it's a good episode. It's
not number one though.
It's funny though, because when we did the rewatch here just recently, I remember going, that was really tasty. I quite liked
good
it.
food.
And it's one of my favorite style of Enterprise ships. It's up there.
Yeah.
Top 5, top 3.
Well, and that's the thing. And that episode specifically was written so slapdashedly, where they had to farm out each act to a different set of writers, and they wrote it over Thanksgiving weekend. They got back together after Thanksgiving and they combined everybody's script, and I think Eric Stillwell or somebody did a final Ira Bear, I think it was Ira Bear,
Probably
did the final pass on it and made it what it was.
It's the tragedy of Tasha Yar, I think.
Yeah,
right.
I think for me too.
Where everybody gets,
Well, and it's the first time that we really see Guinan be Guinan with
That too.
the metaphysical temporal stuff.
that too,
And
yeah.
That's where I think Guinan becomes one of the pivotal characters of the show.
An episode that for me exemplifies what I really like about Star Trek is the competency porn. The next phase, the one where Geordi and Ro are ghosts and they're trying to figure out what the deal is there.
That was a good episode.
I kind of like that one, yeah.
I liked that one.
Competency porn.
What was the name of the one where Picard is interrogated for so long? and
All
is told
3 lights.
Four lights, yeah.
That's a good one too, yeah.
Was he supposed to say
Chain of Command?
Chain of Command? Was he supposed to say there were
There were
3?
5. He was supposed to say there were 5,
but he
and
could only see 4.
He committed to 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's a true man. And we haven't talked about it yet, but the series finale, pretty freaking good, if I do say so myself.
I'll ask you this though: would it have been as good if it didn't loop back to Encounter at Farpoint?
Hilariously, I kind of like that it did loop back to Encounter at Farpoint.
So
Yeah, I know. But
does it
also,
fix Q in that episode for you though?
yeah. I mean, he was always perfect in my eyes.
He's like, you can't fix what's
you
perfect.
can't fix what's perfect.
Because he was kind of mean Q in this finale.
Yeah.
and, yeah.
But so I watched this episode in tandem with our friend Jeremiah, and after that episode, after All Good Things ended, he sent me the preview, or like the first preview snippet thing for Picard season 2, and he was like, imagine now that you have seen All Good Things, now imagine waiting for Picard season 2 to drop. And I was like, oh my god, I would have shat myself.
And then imagine watching and thinking, well, this isn't very good.
No, don't say that.
Now here's a little
It's
something,
fine.
because-
It's fine.
That's the thing. Well, okay, it's fine, but
Okay.
season 1 was so good, and season 3 is phenomenal. So season 2 just feels like, oh, what happened there?
Okay, so next episode we're gonna do the finale.
We're gonna do the finale,
And then we're gonna do the next gen movies.
and then we're gonna do the next gen movies.
And let me tell you how disappointed I am that not one of those next gen movies was a Q.
Oh, could you imagine a Q next gen
Yeah,
movie?
why?
That would have helped us. A couple of them actually shouldn't have been made. It should have been a different movie, and it should have been a Q movie.
Fair.
You got that
Damn.
budget now, man. go get it.
But does Q work better on a smaller budget?
Maybe. This isn't going to spoil anything, but they could. I think the one movie that he would have improved the most is Generations, but they can't have used him in Generations because they immediately used him before
in the finale.
In the finale.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. Yeah. I see your point. Yes, that would have worked beautifully. Yeah.
Huh.
Instead, they had Guinan kind of do the Q thing in that.
Kind of, yeah, because she's the temporal stuff.
She shows up. Yeah. How fun.
Yeah.
How long of notice did Next Gen have that they were getting canceled that season?
Like a year.
Oh, they had quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they had a whole season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they knew about that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because they knew they wanted to. The Deep Space Nine was picking up steam, and they knew that Paramount was like, we're going to start a new network, and we need a new shiny toy to launch it with, and so go Voyager. Create Voyager. Yeah.
Oh.
Because Voyager was the UPN network. Yeah, that was UPN. We're getting you a brand new Star Trek there. Look at that.
UPN. Oh my God, I remember Star Trek on UPN.
You remember UPN?
Do you remember UPN? I remember UPN.
Just like they did with CBS All Access.
Yes.
Oh, time is a flat circle.
They use Star Trek like this, and then they never
and then they never love it,
and then they never commit to it. Exactly.
Well. It all comes back to Star Trek never committing to a single goddamn thing.
They buy this beautiful new plant, and then they never water it.
Oh.
I'm just gonna say, 2 of the episodes that I really loved that weren't mentioned. One is Sarek. And the other one is Unification, which ties to Sarek, of course.
Yeah.
Also good, yeah. I forgot about Sarek.
You a big Sarek fan, Jake?
That's Sarek. That's where Sarek was losing his mind, right?
Yeah, and it's unwatchable for me now because my mother died of Alzheimer's, and so watching Sarek, and
that hurts.
My nephew, who I mentioned before the show started, had watched all the original series movies and was like, what are some good Next Generations to start with after having watched those? So I told him Sarek and Unification, particularly because Unification ties into Star Trek 6. But I like Unification Part 1 significantly more than Part 2. The search for Spock, if you will. Okay, yeah. And I think it loses something in Part 2 until the end. And when he mind melds with Picard to touch his father,
yeah,
I lose it every time.
I'll bet.
Oh, sure.
I'll bet. Oh,
yeah.
That's tough. Good episodes though. I mean,
good food.
Good food.
Yummy Trek.
And then I'll ask, just what's your one least favorite episode?
Oh boy.
I know I'm pushing this long. But that's what I do.
I don't care. I like talking Star Trek with my friends.
Easily I was so mad when I watched this episode. Shades of Grey. Hands down. Worst episode ever.
Which one was Shades? Help me remember.
That was the clip show. Riker's in a finale. Coma, so we're going to show clips of things that happened.
That he didn't see.
Yeah.
That was bad.
That was
bad.
In my opinion.
You know why they made that episode?
They didn't they run out of money, but they needed one more episode?
Writer strike.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Oh, what's the one where Wesley trips over a plant and they want to kill him?
Justice.
Which one was that?
It's in the very first season.
Yeah. And who did they fight in that episode? The Edonian god?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Was it written by Roddenberry?
I think it was.
Writers, Roddenberry.
Of course.
And Wesley, of course, was...
No, he's only credited as the showrunner. It was written by Worley Thorne and John D.F. Black.
Well, John D.F. Black was an original series guy, too.
Okay, I've just pulled up just a list I Googled.
Oh, me too.
of the 10 worst episodes.
I knew exactly. Shades of Grey is just.
And
they have Angel 1 as one of the worst episodes, but that's the one where Riker wears the deepest V possible.
Okay.
How
So
could that
it's
be
in-
the worst? How could
It's
that
in
be
your
a
top
terrible
5,
episode?
right?
Angel one's pretty
yeah.
bad. Okay, this
He's
is
got like that chest toupee from the Spice Girls movie.
okay. This is IMDb.
You
all
think
right?
that's fake, Jake?
This is IMDb. Season 2, episode 18, Up the Long Ladder.
Okay.
Your long ladder.
Yeah.
Tony.
I think
What?
that one's where is that where Pulaski gets old?
Let's see. It's,
No, that's coming up. That's too short a season.
Oh no,
No.
it's the Irish in the.
Oh right.
Oh,
It's the
yeah.
Irish.
It's the Irish in
the
holodeck.
Yeah.
Or in the
Oh, that one,
cargo
that game
hold.
one, that game one where they have the Google Lens glasses.
yes. Oh, that's terrible. Let's see.
Have you seen the outtake of that episode where Roddenberry and somebody, probably Colmini, I don't remember who, and Michael Dorn are singing some Irish folk song, and Michael Dorn's just like, but Roddenberry and whoever he's singing it with, it might have been one of the guest stars from that, are having the time of their lives.
Let's see. Masks is on the list.
Oh,
Aquiel.
any episode where Deanna is victim.
That's good. Aquiel is on the list.
Ugh.
Remember Aquiel? The Loss. That's
And
where
Deanna's the victim.
Deanna, the victim, she loses her powers. Justice. That's
This was back. Do you remember season
that's that
1?
one.
Yeah, season
Oh,
1
that was terrible.
had some episodes that are pretty comparable with the original series in regards to costuming.
Mhm.
Yep. Because
There's
they
Man
had
of-
the same costume designer that year. First 2 years was
There's,
Bill Tice. Yeah.
There's Man of the People, where
Troy's a victim.
Troy's the victim again. She gets
So
aged.
cool.
The Child, which
Troy-
was the one where
Deanna,
she's
again.
pregnant.
That one I'm not so upset about though, because that was a reuse of a script that was originally designed for phase 2, and it was going to be Ilea and Decker.
Oh,
They literally just changed the names on
but
that.
this is the alien used her body to make a baby.
Yeah.
Can't believe
yeah.
we haven't said Genesis yet.
Yeah. Angel
That's because
One's
it's
there.
great.
Well, it's coming up. Code of Honor.
That's my least favorite.
That's yeah.
Which one was that?
That's
The most racist episode of
the
Star Trek
racist
in
one,
all
yeah.
900 of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about the one where they turn into children?
Oh, Frakes.
That was annoying.
That's not
I don't know,
bad.
I don't know if it's
That
a
was
word,
awesome.
but it was annoying.
Ro jumps on a bed. Come on.
The,
Yeah, it's
the
true.
thing about that one is it happens immediately after Inner Light. And so Picard's like, maybe I could be a child and go through all this again. And I'm like, bro, you just lived a whole life.
Yeah. Let's go for 3. Why
You know
not?
who else hates Code of Honor? Jonathan Frakes.
Oh,
He
yes,
referred to it as a racist piece of shit.
I remember this
Sure.
episode now. Yeah, that was bad.
Then Sub Rosa and Shades of Grey. Those are the top 2. Sub Rosa and Shades of Grey. So,
Terrible.
terrible.
Who was the writer on Code of Honor?
I
I
closed
just had
the
it up.
window.
Let me
I'm
look.
sorry.
No, I know that's fine. I'm asking Rebecca to Google.
Whoa.
Oh,
this.
well, now I gotta Google it.
I got it.
Tony's got it.
Catherine Powers, Michael Barron, and story editor Johnny Dawkins.
That many
Season
people.
1.
That many
Season
people
1
to make-
was a little...
Those sound like fake names to me.
Well, it is
You know.
IMDb, so
Well,
On
I
IM
think they were probably
names.
pseudonyms.
on
yeah.
IMDb for Code of Honor. One of the reviews, definitely not great, but definitely not racist.
what?
Let's see.
Elon,
Okay.
what are you doing
Leave
on there,
the-
Elon?
Elon, get out of here.
Get out of here.
Bros out of the comments. Come on.
Let's see. Okay, this person. Wow, sometimes people are just so easily offended. It's actually quite embarrassing and sad. The Star Trek universe is filled to the brim with every conceivable race and culture with their own unique laws and morality.
This person is didn't know what they watched. They have no clue. They have no sense of history. They have yeah.
Enjoyable episode overall, but some people unfortunately see racism whenever they simply walk into a room or turn on the TV.
Anybody who has
Hey,
typed
man.
that kind of sentence, never paid attention in history class, isn't aware of the Tulsa Race Massacre, isn't aware of... Yeah, I could
Listen
go
to
on.
this.
And
Listen
is
to this.
probably
Listen to
the
this guy.
Secretary of Education.
And yes.
Yeah. It says, I have to agree that this episode was not one of the best and perhaps deserves many of the negative critiques it received. What I don't understand is the various trivia notes discussing disappointment about the blatant racism in the episode.
There is blatant...
New paragraph. This is the best part. Though the episode does involve African Americans representing an alien culture with primitive undertones, but what specifically was racist in this episode?
But also they're avoiding. Listen, us four white people talking about this, but
true.
like, why not? Also, calling them African Americans is so specific and trying to avoid use of the word black. When
2021, when this was put in there,
they're not African American if they're in space.
I was 8 years old and got it.
Yeah.
right?
Well, that's what I'm
Come on
saying.
now.
The people who make these comments don't have a proper education.
It's like when people watch that episode of TOS with the two color
Beal.
the
Yeah.
black and the-
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they say that's the racism. What are you talking about? And like, you guys, that is like specifically the message of
It's
the
beating you
episode.
over the head with it.
Kirk literally says, "We used to have race problems on Earth, but we
Yes.
got over it."
Wow.
Can't you
Can't
see?
wait.
Can't you
Cannot
see?
wait.
Look at him. Look at him. What? You're black on one side, white on the other. Yes, but I'm black on the right side. You know.
Jeez, is that what that episode
What's
was
that
about?
Rick and Morty episode with the nipples?
Yeah. He's black on the other side. He's you know.
What was
Oh,
the
the Unity episode.
Oh,
Oh,
Unity.
yeah. But yeah, it's just. I mean,
Classic.
anybody who says that Star Trek shouldn't be woke, I'm like, go back, take a look. Kirk
always-
specifically says, "Leave your bigotry in your quarters."
Yep. It's always
All
been.
right. And then
Even the cage, like,
yes,
you know. I know you
she
do.
does. It's one of her favorites.
I got to go back to my Animal Crossing Island Talos 4.
How's that going, by the way? You got a nice
Animal
island?
Crossing?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Did you give it up yet?
No.
Oh, I can only play that game hardcore for like 2 days, and then I'm like,
Well,
what am
it's
I doing?
so what I do is I keep it on my kitchen island and I play it while I'm having my morning coffee.
Ah, that makes sense.
Because I don't have the mental focus to sit and play. That's why it's taken me 8 years to play Jedi Survivor, even though that only came out like 2 years ago.
In Rebecca years, it's been
Yeah.
8.
Rebecca years, yes.
Well, that's teeing us up for all good things, right? You're moving back and forth through time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake, you're
Rebecca
so
years.
good at keeping us consistent.
No,
Keeps us on
no.
track.
I'm the one that asked, "What's your favorite episodes?" Let's talk about that for half an hour.
Yeah, I love it.
That's why we're here talking Star Trek.
So Rebecca, you don't like Q's lipstick in the pipe.
I mean, it's if I had to pick.
I've talked about it before, and I mentioned it even half an hour ago. Galoob, the toy company, had the first Star Trek: The Next Generation toy license.
Mm-hmm.
They released 6 figures at first, Picard and the crew, 4 variants of Data, because they hadn't figured out the makeup yet.
Yeah, different shades of Data.
Really?
And then,
Yeah.
like a year later, I have them all up here. Let's see if I-
Yeah, I mean, one of them was like gray, and you know.
Yeah, they're all up there.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy.
It's
There
just
it
a
is.
little bit of lipstick.
It's the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I'm gonna actually grab this. I was like, I should send her a picture. I have the thing literally right there.
Go on get it, boy.
Now, I never bought the Galoob figures because it was before I was into Next Gen. I didn't appreciate Next Gen until like the Playmates figures came along.
So, a year after, or not a year, maybe 6 or 7 months after that first wave came out, they released 4 aliens.
Mm-hmm.
The Antikin the Sealay from that's like the lizard creature and the prairie dog creature that fought each other in like the 3rd episode of the series. A Ferengi and Q in his judge's robes
Yes.
with
With lipstick.
Oh, what is
That
going
is-
on?
that's Michael Jackson.
Here's the thing is that the Playmates Q didn't have the lipstick situation going.
And the Playmates queue, they were able to do more than one. Sorry, I got closer.
Yeah.
More than one paint job.
Yeah, they did. They did the
Wow.
judges' robes. They did him in uniform. They did a whole bunch of them.
That is crazy looking.
So, silly question for the chat. Why in Picard season 2 does he appear aged to like match Picard?
Yeah,
he
Or-
basically
literally
says,
says that.
He literally,
he says that.
I want to appear aged,
Wanted-
so like you kind
Wanted
of.
to make you feel comfortable.
Yeah, make you feel
Okay.
comfortable.
And then they explain in Picard about Data aging too, as it's part of his program, and yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
But they do de-age him for his first appearance.
Yes.
He comes in and he's like, "Oh,
Is
you
it
got
bad?
old."
You got old.
No, it looks
It
really
wasn't
good.
bad.
Actually.
It wasn't too
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Anyway, all right. I'm excited to. I'm sorry y'all have to wait so long just for little old me.
That's why you guys get this little extra like 15-20 minutes of jibber jabber, because we're gonna be late on our schedule
Yeah.
releasing
Planned
the
this.
episode
But
because
then
Carrie's going to Japan.
we're doing the finale, and then
We're
the
doing the
movies, and then Deep Space Nine.
I can't wait.
I feel the way I feel after we finished. Carrie, I don't know if you remember when we finished TOS, and I was like, I don't want to leave my friends.
Well, you never leave them.
They're still on the
When-
shelf. You just pick them up when you want them.
Okay, wall people.
Did you know, Carrie? I think you mentioned Measure of Man. I know we're wrapping up, but this just popped into my head when
Nah,
you said
take your
that
time.
you pick them off the shelf. There's an extended cut of that episode
Oh,
of Measure
really?
of a Man on the Blu-rays. It's 15 minutes longer.
Oh,
Yeah.
more courtroom
Yeah.
stuff. Oh, that's right up Rebecca's alley. She would
Yeah.
love
Do love a
that.
quorum stuff.
She does.
Well, we will revisit our friends in a little while. But until then, thank you guys for listening and watching. If you're watching at home, like, comment, subscribe, whatever that entails. And until next time, we will keep going where no one has gone before, but a lot of people have gone before. Thank you. Thank you, friends.